This piece of Lisa is being brought to you by Mutual Security Credit Union. Find out more at mscu.com. Let's get first to the big story. Front page of the New York Post, hitting all the news services and wires, and a great subject for us to be talking about here in Fairfield County, where we count nothing more than the scores of our children on the way to college and the SATs. The story is that one kid was arrested because he was basically a professional SAT exam taker. He got $2,500 a kid to take their exams. They got much higher scores than these kids normally get. And the teachers of Great Neck North, you Great Neckers, perk up now. I have a feeling you'll be very embarrassed, as I would be as a grad of Lawrence High School on the South Shore of Long Island, Great Neck on the North, to find out this was going on in my alma mater. But really, there are so many questions here. First, I got to ask you, have you ever cheated? Have you ever cheated on an exam, on something important in school? We used to have a debate in our family about who was more culpable, who was more guilty, the cheater or the one who let the kid cheat off his exam. In fact, around my family table, and I won't name who's who, some people adamantly insisted that you weren't guilty of cheating if you let someone else cheat off you. But I, ever the goody-goody, thought that if you knowingly let somebody cheat off you, then you were a cheater. But people didn't see it that way. So I'm curious if you see it that way. Obviously, people in the community are very upset. I'm sure you'd be upset too. So I decided to ask an expert on this to come into our studio and talk about it. We've got this great intern, Brian, and he is at Norwalk High School. He's in the thick of it, being in high school. And I wanted to hear from you, Brian. What do you make of this story about the SAT cheating? First of all, let me ask you, the interrogation begins. Is it going on in Norwalk High School?
Is it going on in Norwalk High School? I have not heard any word of this happening in Norwalk High.
Okay. Do you know of anybody in your life who has ever paid anyone to take an exam for them?
Yes, I actually have.
I knew the hesitation meant yes. You see, you know what? Can I tell you a secret as a lawyer?
You may.
I will tell you. This is digressing, but this is a secret as a lawyer. When you're being deposed, the secret to taking a deposition or being in court is to count 1, 2, 3 silently to yourself before answering even the question, what is your name? And the reason you're supposed to count silently, 1, 2, 3, is because people have a tendency to answer a question more quickly when they're telling the truth than they do when they're lying. So if you're going to hesitate on the stand or during a deposition where you're really not sure how to answer a question and you don't want to sound like you're lying, you're better off hesitating before each question. So I knew when I heard the that maybe you did know somebody who had paid to take an exam. Now, I'm not going to ask you, but was it you? Did you ever pay anyone to take an exam?
Have I? No, I have not. I've never.
You never did that?
No.
Okay. But would you?
It would have to depend on the test and where it would take me.
That is a very pragmatic, unethical response, Brian. That is not the kind of response that is a character-building response that we want to hear on the Lisa Wexler Show. It would depend where it would take you. Well, the SAT has a pretty big stake. If you could afford to pay someone to take the test for you, would you do it?
I would not, because if I was found cheating, and they would probably revoke it, and then I would get a 0 for the test, or you only get 400 for signing your name, and if you get below 400, that's pretty bad. So
what I'm hearing is that you wouldn't cheat not because it's unethical and the wrong thing to do. You wouldn't cheat because if you got caught, the consequences wouldn't be worth it.
Exactly.
Has anybody in your family taught you that just cheaters never prosper? Did you ever hear that one? It's really, cheating. What do you think? Well, I mean, maybe you don't think cheating is any big deal. Do you think cheating is a big deal?
I do and I don't.
Tell me.
Let's see. In what terms are you talking about cheating?
Copying off of someone else's exam, using someone else's brain power to get a good mark.
If it's not overly done.
What does that mean? The slippery slope of relativity here.
let's say you come unprepared for a test and you're not too sure of what's on it, and you're not sure. You just spent the night before studying. You're not sure what's on it, and on the test is a question you haven't really spent enough time on.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to get to Julia later. Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be all right in my standards to, if you didn't know it, to do it, and then learn it later on why the problem, and then you wouldn't have to cheat on that one problem anymore.
Does Norwalk High School have an honor code?
It does.
Okay. He says with a smile. So you're not supposed to cheat?
Not particularly, no.
I mean, you're not supposed to, you don't know that you're not supposed to.
Oh, no, I do know.
You do know that you're not supposed to cheat, but like my father wisely always says, people know when they're doing the wrong thing and they do it anyway. Now, here's my question, the equivalency. And by the way, I'll give the phone number because I know you're dying to weigh in on this at 203-845-3044. Let's talk about cheating. You can give me your opinion, whether you have or you haven't, what's cheating and what's not. So, Brian, this is great. Who is more guilty, though? Are you guilty of cheating if you are letting somebody cheat off you?
I think the cheater himself is actually the most guilty one.
Do you think that you're guilty if you knowingly let someone cheat off of you?
If you think about it long enough, you can be guilty for it.
But your first glance of thinking about it, not so much?
Well, like you said, they were paid $2,500.
The guy was paid $25. That was to take someone's identity, to lie, to go into an SAT, and to take the exam literally being someone else.
All right. That's a tough question. But I do believe the cheater is the guilty party in this, rather than the cheater, the one who takes the test.
Oh, so you think in this case, the guy that was professionally paid is actually less guilty than the guy who paid him to cheat?
Yes.
That's really interesting because the guy his name is Sam, here it is, Esagoff. He's 19. He goes to Emory University so far. They'll throw him out soon, I predict. He is actually the one that was arrested for a higher charge of a crime than the misdemeanor charges that are against the kids who paid him to do it. We're going to open up this conversation to listeners. I want to keep this going. Let's talk cheating on the Lisa Wexler Show at 203-845-3044. Elizabeth from White Plains. Elizabeth, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, Lisa, I'd like to say, first of all, I love your show. I listen to it all the time, and I'm really concerned about what I just heard.
Of course you are. I am, too.
I believe the cheater and the person that allows them to look at their answers are both guilty. And this is indicative of our society today, where people think it's okay to do this. It isn't okay. You should be when you take a test, you should take it and you should study for the test, and you should get a mark based on your studies. You should get into a college, you take SATs, you should get into the college based on your own efforts. And I think it's outrageous to think that there's nothing, that this is okay. I'm really concerned about what I just heard. This young man thinking it's okay to cheat. It's not.
I know. I'm very concerned too. He's sitting right in the studio, Brian.
I have young son. He's 25. But listen, that's outrageous. I don't agree with it.
I don't agree with it either.
I raised both my children.
Yeah.
Both of my kids. I've raised them. My husband and I have, and we're very proud of them. But you should get something on your own merit. I have never cheated. I'm goody two-shoes like you.
Me too. I'm the goody two-shoes, Elizabeth. Has it gotten you anywhere in life? I just want to know.
You know something? I can go to bed at night knowing who I am.
No, I know.
And that's all that matters. And I feel that there's a lack of ethics today. I feel that this is outrageous, that young people think it's okay to get away with this kind of behavior. It's not okay.
No, I agree. Elizabeth, I laugh at it, but I laugh at it out of nervousness more than anything else. It is so not okay, and it is so indicative of this slippery slope we have of moral relativity and of the ends justifying the means.
You're absolutely right. And, there is, in this situation, it's just wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And I think hopefully now the system will change. I think they're going to try to get now identification of the students when they're taking these tests.
Well, they always have. They always have. I think it had to have been an easier scam. I mean, you can get fake IDs, Elizabeth. Kids get fake IDs all the time.
Yes, I know that. I do. But I just think I'm just so upset over this whole situation. I can't believe it. I really can't. And I lived in Bayside, actually. I moved up here to White Plains, but I was in Bayside, and I have friends that lived on Long Island, and when I heard about this, that school, I'm just outraged. Really am.
Well, it's really sickening because you know that if it's a Great Neck North, it's the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yes, that's what I'm frightened about.
Sure, I mean, you know, if it's a one prestigious high school, he didn't think of it by himself. He's not the only sole guy cheating. Somebody else thought of it. Who knows how many years it's been going on?
I agree, and I really applaud your stance and how you did grill him. I was so proud of you.
Well, thanks, Elizabeth.
And I really enjoy your show. It's so interesting. So many great topics. I really enjoy talking to you, and I'll continue listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you for such a kind call. Appreciate it, Elizabeth. It sounds like we're kindred spirits.
Yes, we are.
We're going to talk more about cheating coming up on the Lisa Wexler Show. You've just been listening to A Piece of Lisa. If you'd like to listen to the whole 2-hour show, please go to lisawexler.com where all shows are archived. And do follow me on Twitter @Lisa Wexler. Thanks for listening.